kinda lost and find. Ended the game in overtime, drawing of a new design, drilling that one earth the mind, looking to the outward, speaking mind about words absurd, blurred to the curb, walking along the verb.
Before I say anything else, I want to say no matter what you've done, you deserve respect. Even if you make mistakes, you're lovable. And it doesn't matter your look, skills, or age, or size, or anything, you're worthwhile. No one could ever take that away from you.
Hey everybody, what is happening? Ish Daily Ish back with part 9 of this Houston Texans offensive ebook. We are going to go back into the shotgun, number 3, gun doubles today. And we are going to be starting off with the Y shallow cross. Before I get into this, guys, I am starting to post links to this, all the play book here, basically, on my Twitter, so I don't have to email stuff out to everybody. That way you can go on there, you can check it out. I have it on a Google Drive, you can download it, save it, whatever you want. So the plays that I'm running on hard copy, you can print out all that. They're going to be available through my Twitter, and I'll try and pin those and keep those up to date. But start checking that. I've already got 2 links out. So what we're going to do here in this double set, this is going to be a very common sort of theme here between just these play sets. Again, since we're 9 schemes deep, we can afford to have stuff like that, you know, and you know, we're going to have this comeback on that deep end there, and we're going to use a lot of deep ends, try to have one you know, deeper route, if it be the middle, you know, ish deep part of the field, and then of course your underneath stuff. As you see here, there's a lot of options you can run here. I'm just showing you. You can motion across that, you know, any of the receivers on the sides, and change a lot of these plays up as far as what we're running on the underneath, like this slot guy coming across, as you'll see later in. But the base of this one here, you want to get a read off of that X, how he breaks, and then of course what the user is going to be doing. That's why I kind of like some of the ends and stuff, obviously, or what when users start chasing, really beat them across the middle when they vacate their zones. So you want to get a read for that. If they get a man for some reason or something like that, you will see that drag open wide open up or easy. So it's easy to see that read, you know, off the get go when that one's open. If you know, right, even there, I could have got a few more yards probably that way. So just depending on you know, what your opponent's doing, what he's running as far as coverage. You know, a lot of times, like I say, they'll vacate that one. Not one you're gonna run over and over again, but we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna get variations in here, and this one's just kind of like a starting point of what we're doing through this set, though. So okay, we'll take a look at this one. Then we will go back in here, and there's some good running in there. So there's good enough running out of this formation, I should say. You know, use a little bit of motion stuff, snap guys right off a tackle across like that, and it's pretty good. So again, right here, so if you could take the Y on this one, I'm just showing this beforehand. You can move him around, slant him, and drag him, and I'm going to use him in another formation doing that already. So it's just showing, like this one, strong flood specifically, you can come out in this and just get a read of what the defense is in and use that Y receiver for whatever you want. The streak isn't really going to help out the B receiver. It doesn't really push the way you would think. You don't really get extra separation, so you don't really need to run that. But something of that nature also, where you're dragging the tight end and then putting him on a slant over there, works. But basically what I'm going to do with this one, if I'm trying to get B open as much as possible, get that gap, see with the way the routes separate, you know, you're with that route, it's going to get open a lot, but it also can have tight coverage at times. You really don't need to throw the ball when the defender's on your back, when he's running that real tight coverage. But if you have any cushion, I'll normally get that, and you're gonna, you know, you're gonna hit that one kind of down and in when you're you know, running that route. So if I do pass lead at all, it's almost always down and in. I'm never pass leading like forward or left on that one, because that's one of those that carries. And a lot of times you don't even need a pass lead for that B route. You just have to hit the right timing of that one anyway. But I will normally possession catch that one in a lot of spots now, just the way that you know, that route is and the chance of getting hit afterwards. But I still complete that on a you know, high rate. And then of course in certain zones you're gonna see that coming across. In certain cover twos you'll see that splitting it, you know, if you get the timing down. And obviously these other routes work also, but I wanted to focus on showing hitting that route and when to hit that one. You're gonna have that X, and that one's further out on the deep end for that X, so that one's kind of nice also. If you had, for example, if you were, you know, dragging anybody across and having a streak on that side, it clears out. And we'll look at that one here in a little bit also, how to get, you know, how to kind of maximize getting the deep in open on this with this basic scheme. So, and that's kind of what you're looking at. You run each one kind of on where you're trying to hit in the field and set it up. As I say, there's some similar flavors here, a lot of that, but there's some. So on this one we're gonna motion snap here. We're gonna get that delayed snaps right when he's setting. We're gonna have that slant coming down and in. Again, if the user's floating off to the right, whatever, or that will occupy him there. We're gonna be streaking out or putting fade on either one on the B receiver, so that way we can try to, if he's running a hard flats, then we're gonna have an easy pass with the A. Even man coverage there in certain ones will be open. That's just the Texans, and of course you got that little bench stuff coming off with the running back, which is I really wanted to get a couple of those versions in here, but then that's something you really do want to take advantage of. Not as much in here, but when guys, especially if they're running purples on the outsides and stuff, and you can hit that running back right before he makes the turn, and you'll probably have the best bet to do that. The most yards you're going to gain without him running out. Hit him right before that speed burst happens. Right here, like I say, you can put him on any route also when you're running that delayed run right there. See, zig, and of course I got a Texans quarterback. But so he doesn't have to be a slant. You can do a drag. I would stick with the drag slant. Now the ins and the outs, just know that the other ones flip. But when you have, if you have an out to start the play, it's going to be an in when you go over. It doesn't flip the ins and the outs. But the other routes it will. So just think of that when you're motion snapping that one. But that's again just giving us another look with those plays, and I've even used those techniques near the goal lines and stuff, and the user vacates the area, then you just you get that delayed slant in and score it, or drag in and score. So we'll go out here and run the Texas dig now. On this one, we're going to go off on. We're going to take this route on the B side. We're going to motion him over to the left. Put Y on an out and put A on a drag. You can put him on an in. A drag is going to be the best because you want to try and pin down those linebackers. You want those linebackers to run down to get X open. B is going to bring the top off. So this is what you're going to run. This will maximize that deep in on that side, but also give you underneath a nice check down with Y. You'll get yards. You'll have A secondary of that. And you can manipulate A if you need to put it on a slant or something like that. But anything like that's going to affect X getting open. No. So you're kind of, if I'm wanting to read that in that side of the field, I don't throw the deep in like that one straight often. So with that one, you just got to get used to making sure that you don't have anybody floating underneath in the zone, and just don't force that pass. And normally it's your fault if you throw a pick on that one. But it's just that sometimes if you don't read that. So get a feel for knowing where the linebackers need to be when you throw a pass like that. But this is a good way to clear the space. As you see, if you want to run slant or something under there, just take advantage. If the user's doing things and you need, obviously use that tight end out there to take advantage of that. If he's just if he's running straight left on that play because you're running it, run your guy straight up the seam on a cover two and then just split the middle. So that's kind of your route. You can do whatever you want in a sense there with, but you have at least a couple ways to attack the field now, both sides and the middle, throughout the way we're setting these plays up. But like I say, you're going to get that same feel of having those deep ends, those delayed comebacks. So it's again like a lot of the ones you'll find the base plays that you like to run, and you'll probably find one or two out of here that you feel the most comfortable with, or whatever you want to run, and that's what I mix in. Some sets I'll stay in, some not. But this one I'd probably run a couple plays out, but I'd be bouncing in and out of it between others. But it just depending again on a lot of times my play calling is going to be based on what I see the user doing and where I feel I can have him attack, or if he's doing a really good job, where I feel I have to go away from him at, something like that. So I'm going to get one more here, the Y shallow cross, and again we're going to take X here, motion right, Y will be on a slant, and RB is going to be on the block. Now when we did this one earlier, that's when we had X running deep down the middle. And so here we'll have him. If he's seeing that and he's chasing that and he's running far off, we can then try and hit him with this. you'll at least have 2 tiers of hitting that. You're going to have that Y coming across if he backpedals really fast, and if he chases Y off to the right, then you're going to have X open up. The in actually here, it works out really good the way coverages are in zone, so it's really going to be on the user, if he's user in the middle linebacker, to have to stick with that route, and if he does, he's going to be giving up that easy slant underneath there, unless he's taking somebody on the on the other opposite side and manning him up across from you. So you just have to keep an eye on what he's playing there. But other than that, we have different levels to attack. You see here, if you take Y out here and put it on a zig, say just something to add. If he's running like Tampa 2, that will actually get easy yards. Just know that, because you're gonna the defender on that side, the blue will end up pulling up even without somebody even directly pulling that off him, and you normally get yourself 5-6, depending on if you make the guy miss, you get a little bit more. But just something from that formation just to keep in mind. The zigs will do that. And so right here, you have the 2 layers now with this one here also. So it's not just going to be that deep in, because now you're going to have on the opposite side here, we're getting this shot action. So you're going to have to, again, make sure that the guy, their defender had inside coverage on me. He was pressed on me at inside coverage. That's a pick if you're throwing that. So you just got to get a feel for just knowing that on that right side route, knowing where the defender is, when it's safe to throw that one. Because some routes, your guys are going to make cuts, and you know that it's okay if the guys are on you. That outside route, those routes, they do not have a sharp enough turn or anything where they're going to get more separation. So you need to see separation before you throw that most of the time. Thanks for checking this out, guys. See you next time. Peace.